Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching. We're with Sim again. Hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the storm again, but this time we do have a few changes, I'm pretty sure, especially due to the changes that have already occurred. And we'll talk about that, but we already had changes from the Climate Prediction Center, and we'll talk about that in a second. But before we get to that, we're just going to be talking about these watches, warnings, and advisories. And if you look, we got some winter weather advisories in effect for New England still. And this is for today. This is going to be for another round of freezing rain possible. I won't be going live for this, but if you guys haven't seen my live stream yesterday about this icy weather in New England, you guys can go ahead and watch that. But we also got some dense fog or air quality alerts in effect for southwest North Carolina. This is pretty bad air quality, so if you guys do live in southwest North Carolina, just make sure you are being aware of some dirty air in that area, especially due to that fire. There was a pretty bad fire that occurred in that area. It occurred in Henderson County, North Carolina, and it became pretty intense. So that's definitely why they have that air quality alert. But we even have, let's see, we're going to go back. We even have dense fog advisories in effect for the Panhandle of Florida, getting into Georgia and Alabama. Also, New Orleans and southern Mississippi, also in some dense fog advisories. And we even had a super fog once, and even a bunch of traffic on one of the interstates around this area, which it was pretty intense. And to be honest, I think we're already seeing a similar thing across this area. We're just seeing a bunch of dense fog on one of the interstates, just making all kinds of cars pile up on that area. If you guys want to see that, you guys can go to Fox Weather. That's where I watch a lot of my videos. But I mean, that was a pretty big event there. But if we also look, we got some wind advisories in effect, even a red flag warning down here. But wind wind advisories in effect just south of Las Vegas. And if we look at these wind advisories, it says gusts up to 45 expected. So it's kind of high, but it's not gonna be damaging winds though. But if we look at over here around the Los Angeles region, we do have a red flag warning, and we'll talk about that in a second. But this red flag warning goes until this goes in effect from 3 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thursday for most mountain and valley areas of Los Angeles and Ventura counties, as well as the Malibu coast, due to gusty Santa Ana winds and low humidity. So yeah, this will go in effect till this evening. At least this evening is when it will be in effect till. But we're going to go ahead and go to the Storm Prediction Center outlook, so we don't take forever on that. And if we look, we do have a small critical risk, and that's exactly why we have that. And that's exactly why we have that fire warning in effect. But we also got the elevated risk around that, so make sure you guys are aware of that. Climate Prediction Center outlook, and the changes with this is the 6 to 10 day outlook, 8 to 14 day outlook, and as well as the precipitation. But we're just going to go ahead and start off with the 6 to 10 day outlook. And if you look, we're seeing above average temperatures for all the United States, while we're seeing above for the West Coast, above average precipitation for the West Coast, well above average precipitation possible. And then for the northern United States, we are likely to see slightly to a little bit below average in precipitation, so make sure you guys are aware of that. 8 to 14 day outlook, we're seeing anywhere from above to slightly above average for much of the United States. Some areas near normal to maybe slightly below average, so definitely not really a concern for below, but it is a concern for above. And then the temperature, we're seeing that biggest chance around the Ohio Valley gain into the upper Midwest, and then all the eastern United States gain into Idaho is seeing above average temperatures too, and then we got that below across like the Los Angeles region gain into Las Vegas. So make sure you guys are aware of that. Weather predictions in our outlook this for today, and as you see, we got that freezing rain area continuing through today. That was just issued yesterday, so I mean this kind of just gonna be another freezing rain event, which is kind of nuts. 2 days with freezing rain, which is kind of nuts, but I won't be going live for this, and like I said, you guys can watch that if you want. It's in my live stream, so if you guys want to watch this freezing rain event, it's in my live streams on my YouTube channel. But we even got this thunderstorm and rain area heading into the Ohio Valley down into Texas still for today. But then we even got this snow area. This is really slow, so it kind of takes a little bit, but we even got the snow and mixed precipitation area back here in the Washington, Oregon, and even coast area, and we're even seeing a chance for snow northern Minnesota, which may be nuts, I'm not sure, but we'll talk about that as we look at the total snowfall. But we are even seeing rain or mixed precipitation across central New Mexico, which is pretty much where the most populated city is, which is gonna be nuts. Excuse me. But we look at the radar. We're gonna go ahead and start off with today. As we take this forward, we're gonna continue to see a round of storms or showers as we get into 18th. This will move across the Ohio Valley and into the northeast with a few isolated thunderstorms. And then as that finally heads out, here's where our main concern is. This will head northeast across Indiana, gain into Ohio. And if you look, this will likely move through southwest Indiana. It just has a pretty long time between each movement, so it's not gonna be this isn't gonna be exactly how it plays out, especially because there's a couple of hours or so in between every time I move this. So see 6 p.m. and then 12 a.m. So yeah, so as you see, this will move quickly across southwest Indiana and then move through central Indiana, and then this will continue moving into the Great Lakes region with this low pressure system, and then it will die down. And then the storms that occurred in the south, this one may be another severe weather threat, so we could have a big site risk like this around this area, and I would probably say about an enhanced risk is what we could end up seeing, especially for the Ohio Valley gain into the south. But I think some other areas could see a marginal insight risk, especially down here towards Texas, where we do have that line of storms occurring still. So I mean, this could be one of our most biggest severe days that has ever occurred in months. So I mean, this could be nuts if we really see this happen. But if we continue to take this forward, we'll even see another round of storms as we get into November 15th. So if you guys want to know how November is going to be playing out, at the beginning of November it's going to stay more calm and dry, but then at the end of November we're talking severe weather outbreaks and even a potential for tornadoes. So really be aware of that if you can. So while it's early, or at least while it's at the beginning of November, make sure you guys are getting prepared for these storms that do occur in later in November. So I mean, we'll see round after round of storms. I'm sorry about that. I'm still where I left off. We'll see round after round of storms as we get into November 20th, and as you see, we got that big line of storms developing. And I mean, we're heading like about 2 weeks out, so I mean there will definitely be some changes around, but make sure you guys do get prepared while it's early. Total snowfall outlook, there's anywhere from now to November 25th, and if you look, we're seeing some pretty active snowfall across Iowa, getting into northern Missouri, and even central Kansas. Central Kansas seems to be seeing up to 14 inches. Wow, that could definitely be some pretty intense snowfall. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be historic or not, but I mean, this kind of just nuts. I wouldn't think Kansas would see snowfall this early, especially because it's not in the northern United States. But I mean, same goes for California. California still seeing over 24 inches of snowfall across the mountains region. Anywhere else seeing like 16. We're even seeing a couple of inches across the Salt Lake City Valley. We're even seeing up to 40 inches, it says, across the mountains in Oregon. So I mean, this is just gonna be nuts. And look, we're even seeing up to 48 inches in Washington. So I mean, oh, are you kidding me? 89 inches of snow across this area. So across Western Canada, we're seeing up to 89 inches of snow, the GF model says. Are you kidding me? I mean, those mountains are really high, but I mean, almost 100 inches of snow is nuts. Very, very well nuts. Same goes for down here. We're probably seeing up to feet and feet and feet of snow across these mountains. So for how it's looking, I think we're going to see up to 60 inches of snowfall across these mountains just for how it's looking. And if you look, the snow in central Washington will start developing on November 10th, and it will continue to grow, and I mean just up to 25 inches or even 60 inches. It just depends, but that's just nuts, guys. That is just nuts. So that's why I'm saying we do have big events coming. If you haven't seen my last video, you can go and see it. Those are the events that are expected to come. But I mean, and I do want to go back and show you guys the moderate risks I showed you guys last time, because look, we do have a few slight risks, especially across Utah and Colorado, but we even got that moderate risk. All the dates are pretty much the same, but temperature, or I mean precipitation outlook, I did forget to say that we did have these two areas to watch for. We did have this one still around for this area, and then we even have this one over here. But I mean, this is just gonna be nuts, guys. And even the moderate risk for heavy rainfall is more widespread than it was, which is kind of nuts. But I did forget to show you guys the wind outlooks in the last couple of videos. This is pretty widespread. I mean, there's only a slight chance for high winds, which isn't very high, and it's also not going to be a concern if it were to happen. Total rainfall outlook is anywhere from now to November 25th, and if you look, we're seeing some pretty good amounts across the tri-state, anywhere from about 2 inches is what we're seeing, maybe 3 inches in some areas, but all the way down into Arkansas, pretty much all of Arkansas seeing up to 4 inches in some areas. Missouri seeing up to 3.5. Looks like Texas or eastern Texas seeing up to 4 inches, but down here to the south and like central Alabama, central Georgia, and even a few other areas up the coast seeing up to 3 inches possible. So I mean, and I do want to show you, if we look at this one does seem to be a little bit more aggressive on the south, because if you look, we're seeing up to about a foot of rain, it says. So I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. I'm not sure what those call, but I think this is the European model or something like that. But if you look, the GFS model is showing the higher amounts in the Atlantic Ocean or the Gulf of Mexico. So I mean, this just gonna be nuts. So there's a lot of uncertainty about how this really plays out, but the European model seems to be less aggressive on the lower Ohio Valley. So GFS model a little bit more aggressive up north. European model less aggressive up north. So yeah, definitely a lot of uncertainty about how this really plays out. So yeah, so GFS model is being more aggressive up north. European model is being less aggressive up north and more aggressive down south. So we'll have to see how this really plays out, but I think the south will definitely see a couple of inches of rain. Lower Ohio Valley seeing at least 1 inch of rain, for my opinion. So make sure you guys are getting prepared for these storms coming on November 18th and heading all the way into December. So make sure you guys do get prepared for those storms right now while we are seeing nice weather. So make sure you guys do get prepared for those, and I will do one tomorrow.